Alright, what's up YouTube? I hope you're enjoying the content this week. First game we're going to preview is Salt Lake City at the Birmingham Iron. Start with Salt Lake City. At quarterback, Josh Woodrum. I know if you're a Salt Lake City fan, you're probably mad he did get injured, but Matt Lanahan did go in, and he was very good, 7-13 touchdown and a pick. So if Woodrum doesn't play or gets injured again, I wouldn't be too scared because Matt Lanahan's a great quarterback. The top receivers in this game were actually tight ends, so I think that's something that we're going to have to look for when they play against the Iron is the usage of the tight ends. Anthony Dome had 5 catches for 59 yards. Nick Truesdell had 3 catches for 23 yards. He also caught a touchdown. So the tight ends are probably going to be important. Jordan Lasley is a wide receiver for this team, and he did catch a touchdown. Alright, at running back, it was pretty underwhelming. Joe Bagnon had 16 rushes for 39 yards. Matt Asiata had a touchdown. I think he only had 4 carries. And Brandon Oliver was also featured. Not really much from the running backs. They need to be more physical with the line of scrimmage. Dennis Erickson has said this, I'll say this, and they also need to be better in the secondary. Their passing yardage for the day was 152 yards, and they had 88 rushing yards. Not really good offensive yardage numbers, but they did have 22 first downs to Arizona's 24. Keep in mind, Arizona had a lot of explosive plays. And also, their offense only averaged 3.7 yards per play. Arizona averaged 5.9. So they were behind in yardage and on offense. As you could tell by the score, they didn't score as many touchdowns. They weren't as productive. Now, Arizona really lit them up in the pass game. 267 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also, they let up 149 rushing yards, which is not good. They really need to improve their defense if they want to beat the Iron. They actually held Arizona to 4 for 12 on 3rd down, and the Iron were not very good on 3rd down, I believe. So that could be a factor in this game. Look for that. Also, the offensive line, only 1 sack, so they did a pretty good job of protecting the quarterbacks. Salt Lake City has a chance to win this game. They can upset Iron, who's number 2 in our rankings, and they're at number 5. The key is they have to get consistent on offense, try to build a run game, pass the ball well like they did last week, and be physical. Stop Trent Richardson and force Luis Perez to pass a bunch. Alright guys, now we're going to preview the Iron. So Luis Perez is 19 of 33, just talked about him, 252 yards, no turnovers, no touchdowns, but he had 2-point conversion. He had a lot of big time throws. He had 1 or 2 throws that I think he probably would have liked to have back. But he's a great quarterback, and he is going to be a key player in this game. Also, Quentin Patton, wide receiver. Watch out for him. He has kind of the dropsies. He had a couple drops, but he did have 4 catches for 107 yards. You're watching one of his catches right there, number 11, Quentin Patton. Trent Richardson at 23 attempts. That's a lot. Kind of reminds me of the old Alabama football. Just run up the middle, up your throat until you give out. And by the end of the game, Memphis kind of did, because he did get 2 touchdowns by the end. But he only averaged 2.5 yards per carry, so it's not really good. Also, Ladarius Perkins had 6 catches for 36 yards, so look for him to get the ball too. On defense, you're going to want to look for Jamar Summers, who had a very good interception, and then Beniquez Brown, who had 4 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. He was a pretty vital part of that defense. Special teams is something that Birmingham is very good at. Nick Novak had 4 field goals, and they were pretty good, pretty far field goals. So I think Nick Novak is going to be an important player for this Iron team. Also, their punter, I forgot his name, but he had 1 very good punt, which downed Memphis like near the 1-yard line. The Birmingham Iron's main vulnerability is red zone offense. 2 for 5 in the red zone. Not very good. You want to be scoring touchdowns, not field goals in the red zone. I know Nick Novak is a great kicker, but you want points. Because think about this. Birmingham was only up 9-0 going into the 4th quarter. Memphis was still in the game, although their offense really wasn't doing much. Memphis could have easily scored a touchdown and been back in the game. Their rushing yardage on offense for the Iron was only 86 yards. It wasn't really that great. I know everyone's talking about how well Trent Richardson played, but DeMarcus Gates, the linebacker for Memphis, who I think is an incredible linebacker, really stopped the run well. And, I mean, really, it was the pass game that got the Iron down the field. On defense, this is where the Iron are strong. 99 pass yards, 103 rush yards against them. That was a pretty strong defensive performance. Memphis probably could have had 3 points. I know it was a shutout. They did miss a field goal, and also they went for it on 4th down, so they could have easily had 6 points. It could have been 6-9, maybe going into the 4th quarter in this game. Could have been a lot closer than it ended up being. So basically, for the Iron, they need to be more efficient in the red zone. Alright guys, just recapping. Basically for Salt Lake City, they need to be more physical and establish a run game. On defense, they need to cover the pass better. For the Iron, they need to be efficient in the red zone. And they also need to establish more of a consistent run game that they don't just use in the red zone. I'm going to have to go with Birmingham in this one, and it's because of physicality. Dennis Erickson has been talking about how they need to have more physicality. We watched Birmingham. They have a lot of physicality. Also on defense, they force 3 turnovers. They're aggressive, and their offense does what it needs to do. It scores points, gets the team into the red zone. They're just going to need to be more efficient in the red zone. For those reasons, I have Birmingham 25, Salt Lake City 18. We're going to have a close one this weekend.